One gloomy morning, a gentle breeze blew through the forest, scattering fallen leaves across the ground. On a bare branch, a black crow sat silently. It neither cawed nor moved, as if trying to shrink away from the world. Yes, a crow, a bird usually seen as tough and cold, was now shedding tears. Inside, it was overwhelmed with emotions. It hated itself. It felt life was unfair. Since birth, it had never once felt loved. It looked at its dark black wings, its long, rugged beak, its harsh, hoarse call that no one liked to hear. Then it recalled the times it flew near humans, only to be chased away as if it were a curse. No one fed it. No one smiled at it, only hatred and disdain. The crow whispered to itself, "Why am I me? Why am I not beautiful like the other birds? I'm not worthy of living." And in that moment of weakness, a silent tear slid down. The wind carried the tear down, falling onto the cheek of an old monk meditating under a tree. The monk slowly opened his eyes, wiped his cheek, then looked up. He saw the crow crying, and deep within its eyes was a sorrow, the sorrow of a soul that had lost its meaning of existence. He gently called out, "Hey, little one, why are you crying?" The crow looked down, hesitated, then answered in a choked voice, "I hate myself, master. I feel ugly, useless, and hated. No one loves me. I bring no joy to anyone. People see me only to chase me away. I feel like I'm living but not really living." The monk was thoughtful. He did not rush to comfort or say, "Everything will be all right," because he understood the crow's pain did not come from the outside world, but from the distorted view within its own heart. After a moment of silence, the monk slowly said, "My child, life is never fair by human standards, but it is always fair in the way of the universe. Every living being is born with its own place, its own value. Only when you reject yourself do you feel life is unjust." The crow lowered its head, still not understanding. The monk's words sounded good, but felt too far away. How could a hated black crow accept that it was enough as it was? Seeing this, the monk smiled kindly. "All right, if you truly don't want to be a crow anymore, I can help. With an ancient spell, I can transform you into the bird you desire. But before I do, go find the birds you admire and ask them, 'Are you truly happy?'" The crow's eyes lit up. This was the chance it had waited for all its life. "Yes, I will go now," it cried out. The monk nodded. "I will sit here, waiting for your return." So the crow spread its black wings, flew into the gloomy sky, heading toward where it believed the answer lay. Happiness came from becoming someone else. It did not know that this journey would not just be about choosing another bird to become, but a journey back to itself. Leaving the shade of the tree where the old monk meditated, the crow flew off, its heart filled with hope. For the first time in its life, it truly believed. If it could find a happier bird, it could become that bird. No more hatred, no more rejection, no more living a life it despised. First destination: the swan. It spotted a swan gliding gracefully across a crystal-clear lake, its feathers pure white, its long neck poised, its movements serene. The crow swooped down near the shore and called out loudly, "Swan, may I ask you something?" The swan turned, its gaze calm. "What is it, crow? I've always admired you. You are beautiful, pure white, and everyone loves you. I think you must be the happiest of birds, aren't you?" The swan tilted its head and replied simply, "No." The crow blinked in surprise. "No?" The swan continued, without a hint of emotion. "There are hundreds of colors in the world. I have only one, white. People praise my beauty, then forget me. I am plain, monotonous, admired from afar, but no one wishes to truly engage with me. If I could choose, I would become a parrot. Vibrant and colorful, everyone desires to keep one. The crow was silent for a moment, then nodded. I see. It spread its wings and flew away. Its heart felt slightly heavier, but hope remained. Perhaps the parrot would be the answer. Flying on, the crow soon found a parrot in a cage hanging from the porch of a house. Its feathers were bright green, red, and yellow, its eyes sharp. A child was watching it through the bars, holding a piece of bread. The crow perched nearby on the roof beam. Parrot, you are truly dazzling. People keep you, care for you, admire you. Surely you are happy with your life? The parrot turned its head and spoke firmly. No. Again, the crow was surprised. No? Again? The parrot nodded. I live in a cage. I am fed, but I cannot fly. I am praised, but I do not choose. Each morning I speak words they have taught me. At night I sleep in the cage they have set. I have no freedom. If I could choose, I would be a peacock, admired in temples and on grand stages and not kept in cages. The crow hesitated. Something was beginning to feel off. Still, it kept flying. Perhaps the peacock would be the answer. At the zoo, the crow found the peacock. Dazzling, magnificent, its feathers vibrant as a painting, its tail fanned out like the sun. Dozens of people stood watching, taking photos, cheering. The crow waited until the crowd thinned, then flew down near the enclosure and asked, Peacock, everyone comes to see you. You are the dream of so many birds. You are the most beautiful of all. So, are you happy? The peacock did not answer right away. After a moment, it spoke. When I was young, I too thought I would be happy. More beautiful than any, more splendid than any. But then they took me to perform. They plucked my feathers to make fans and ornaments. I have been kept here ever since. I can no longer even remember what it feels like to be a bird that flies. It paused, then added softly. I once wished to be a parrot. I once dreamed of being a swan. But now, I only think of one thing. If only I were a crow. Free to fly, not captured, not caged. The crow was stunned. No one had forced the peacock to say this. It was no polite consolation. It was the true voice of a creature living the most admired life, yet longing to live as its true self. In that moment, all comparisons within the crow shattered. It suddenly understood. It was not a bird to be scorned. It was a bird most free, precisely because no one saw it as valuable enough to capture. No one caged it. No one taught it to speak. No one denied its true worth. Only it had denied itself. It flew home, no longer eager to become someone else. It wanted only to return to the old monk, to say one thing it had never said before. I am content. After a long journey, the crow returned to the old spot, where the monk still sat meditating beneath the shade of the tree. The late afternoon air was still. A gentle breeze stirred the leaves. No other sound disturbed the calm. The crow perched on a branch above, looking down. It did not cry. It did not complain. There was only a silence full of understanding. The monk opened his eyes and asked softly, You have returned. Do you still wish for me to turn you into another bird? The crow answered, its voice steady. I no longer wish to become any other bird. I wish to be myself. The monk smiled. It was not a smile of surprise or pride, simply a knowing nod of one who had foreseen the outcome, yet had let the student walk the path alone. The crow began to recount its journey, about the swan who wearied of its color, the parrot admired but caged, the magnificent peacock longing for freedom. None of them were truly happy. I once thought I was unfortunate because I was not beautiful like them, the crow said, but now I see every creature holds a portion of freedom and a portion of limitation. People only see the outside, but it is what lies within that determines who is truly happy. The monk nodded, then asked, "Then why do you think you suffered so much, though no one caged you, no one captured you?" The crow replied without hesitation, "Because I kept comparing. I looked at what others had and forgot what I held. I demanded more instead of being grateful." The monk's voice deepened. Comparison is a colorless, scentless poison, yet it destroys profoundly. It makes one believe they are less than others, not knowing that those very others may look at them with longing. Once you are trapped in the cycle of comparison, you will never know contentment. Even if you become a swan, a parrot, or a peacock, you will still feel something lacking. For the root of suffering lies within your own heart, not in your feathers, your beak, or the praises of others. The crow fell silent. It needed no more teaching. It had understood. The monk rose, dusted off his robe. Looking up at the crow perched above, he spoke one final sentence. "You are not as splendid as the peacock, nor as soft as the swan, nor as radiant as the parrot. But you have wings no one can cage, and freedom, that is the highest beauty of all. From today on, fly as a crow, but as a crow who knows its worth." The crow gazed up at the sky. It was still gray, not bright, not clear, but it no longer weighed upon the crow's heart. It spread its wings, not to rush away, but to breathe in the breeze and exhale softly. It no longer longed to be someone else. Its heart was steady, clear, and full. And in that very moment, it understood. Happiness begins the moment we stop comparing ourselves to others. After its final conversation with the monk, the crow took flight, not to escape, nor to seek someone greater to compare itself with. It flew simply because it wanted to fly, as an acknowledgement that it was born to live its own life, not anyone else's. The wind was the same. The sky had not changed. People on the ground might still shoo it away, curse it, and no one would cheer or take photos as it soared past. But this time, the crow did not feel wounded, because it had learned. The approval of others doesn't define one's worth. We live in a world where comparison is almost instinctive. From a young age, we are taught to glance sideways. That one is smarter. That one is prettier. That one is richer. And so we grow up caught in a maze of misplaced expectations, always seeing ourselves as less than others. We rush toward where others stand, without realizing they may be striving to reach where we are. If the peacock wants to be the crow, the swan wishes to be the parrot, and the parrot longs to be the peacock. Then who is truly living as themselves? Happiness was never meant to be something lofty or distant. It does not reside in how many admire you, how many beautiful feathers you possess, or how many praises you receive. Happiness begins with one honest question. Have I ever truly cherished what I already have? If the answer is no, then what you lack is not something out there, but a right perspective within. You do not need to become someone else to be worthy. You only need to stand firmly in your original self, where you no longer compare, no longer perform, no longer wear a mask. You are you. And only when you stop wishing to be someone else do you truly begin to live. Do not compare yourself to anyone. For each person is born as a unique design, with their own beauty, their own limits, and their own purpose. And if you could choose one thing greater than beauty, wealth, or fame, choose contentment. Because one who knows contentment is the richest soul in all the worlds,